English Grammar, Lesson 6. Topic: Verb tenses. Our focus will be on the present perfect and the present perfect progressive. This is part 3, and we'll now practice forming the negative and forming questions in the present perfect. How do we form the negative in the present perfect? The helping verb, have or has, is followed by not, and then the past participle. Example: there has not been a change of plans, or there hasn't been a change of plans. The contractions then are the following: have not becomes haven't, has not becomes hasn't. And remember, you can use these contractions or short forms in spoken English or in informal writing. Exercise 1. Complete the statements with negative verbs in the present perfect. Number 1. Read the statement to yourself, and then I'll tell you the answer. Answer: my husband and I don't go to many formal events. He hasn't worn a tuxedo in years. Number 2. Answer: I live in the suburbs of Boston. I haven't gone downtown for almost a month. I don't have much reason to travel far from home. Number 3. Answer: my children enjoy visiting this local farm, but they haven't been there since early October. Let's talk about forming questions. We'll begin with yes-no questions. Here's the structure. Use the helping verb, have or has, plus the subject, plus the past participle. Let's look at 2 examples. Have you taught children? Has she studied other languages? Watch the answers. We can use short answers to these yes-no questions. They are: yes, I have, or no, I haven't. Yes, she has, or no, she hasn't. So it's not necessary to give a full answer with the past participle. Note: we often use the adverb ever in questions about general past experience. For example, have you ever taught children? If you choose to use ever, place it between the subject and your main verb. Now let's talk about information questions. Here's the structure. Begin with a question word, such as where, who, how. Then choose a helping verb, have or has, followed by the subject, followed by the past participle. This structure is used in the first 2 examples below. Where have you traveled? Who have you traveled with? The structure changes only when the question word who is about the subject. For example, who has traveled more, you or him? Exercise 2. Form questions based on the answers provided. Number 1. Let's work together. The answer is, I've only visited the Philippines once. Your clues are in black, visited and once. So our main verb in the question will be visit, and once tells you that we need to ask a question about how many times. So let's begin with our question word or question phrase, which is how many times. Helping verb, have, subject, you, main verb, visited. So our full question is, how many times have you visited the Philippines? Answer: I've only visited the Philippines once. That's the sad truth, but hopefully I'll make another visit in the future. Number 2. Look first at the answer. Yes, I have. I only drove a little. I rode behind the driver most of the time. You have 2 clues, yes and rode. Think, what kind of question do you need to ask? And what will be the form of your main verb? I'll give you a moment to form the question. The question is, have you ridden a snowmobile? You could also ask, have you ever ridden a snowmobile? Number 3. Again, look first at the answer. Yes, I have. I think you can say I was seriously injured when I burned my hands on the kitchen oven. I was 1 or 2 at the time. Again, I gave you some clues. Yes tells you that this will be a yes or no question. Your main verb is injured, but look closely, was injured. That's the passive voice. Take a moment and try to form the question on your own. The question is, have you ever been seriously injured? And yes, that is me in the photograph with bandaged hands as a little girl. This is a true story. I did burn my hands on the kitchen oven. I think this is a good time to pause and review. Let's see what you remember from earlier parts of this lesson. Why do we use the present perfect? There were 3 reasons we looked at. The first reason is to state that something began in the past and continues to the present. The second reason is to express an unfinished period of time. An action likely happened repeatedly and may happen again. A third reason is to talk about past actions at unspecified times, to talk about general past experience. Now let me present one more reason. This will be our 4th reason for using the present perfect. We also use the present perfect to report events that happened in the recent past. So we can talk about the distant past, meaning a long time ago, and the recent past, a short time ago. Here are 2 examples. The first, there's been a change of plan. So the change took place recently, perhaps just yesterday. Second example, congratulations, you've just won $1 million. So this news is very recent. The event is recent. The effect or effects of that recent event are still seen or are still felt in the present. For example, when I say there's been a change of plan, perhaps the change took place yesterday, but that means today things are very different. They're different from what we expected they would be. And if you've just won $1 million, perhaps you won that money yesterday, and you still have that money today. Let's see how well you've understood everything so far. We'll try an exercise. Exercise 3. Read the statement and then answer the question. Number 1. Have you seen any good films lately? Your answer can be very short and very general. Yes, I have. Or, no, I haven't. But if you choose to give me specific information with specific times and dates, then you need to use the simple past. For example, yes, yesterday I saw a very interesting film. Number 2. How many English language videos have you watched in the past 3 days? Your answer should use the present perfect. For example, I've watched 3 videos. Number 3. Have any of your personal or professional plans changed over the past few months? And I'll let you be as general or as specific as you'd like. We're not quite done yet. Please go on to the last part of this lesson. Be sure to watch Part 4. We're going to practice using time expressions, and I'll finally explain when we use the present perfect progressive. I'll see you there.